Yojo once again. Hello everybody, today we're going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified series, Snake Eyes and Timber, version 2, because I do not have version 1, as much as I might like it. But I do have version 2, I just got this out yesterday, and I'm very excited to get a hold of it, as I love Timber and I love Snake Eyes. I have the version 1 Snake Eyes, the first release, which is, that's a good figure. I mean, it's basically the same one as this one, but I don't have Timber with it, so it feels wrong not to have Snake Eyes as his ever-vigilant companion. I really like the painted artwork on this box. Like, I just want to take a minute to just talk about how good this looks. Like, I love this. I think this looks like a Bob Ross painting. Like, you have the nice Aurora Borealis at the top, nice mountains, this nice log cabin back there, which could either be a reference to the cartoon or to how sometimes Snake Eyes just has a log cabin that he lives in. Which is really nice. Nice picture of Snake Eyes, the figure on the bottom left there, name, tag, everything. Nice shot of Timber, as well as another shot of Snake Eyes on the right there, wrapping around the other side of the box there. On the back here, we have some product shots of Snake Eyes, as well as the absurd amount of accessories that he comes with. He comes with a lot of accessories, most of which I will not be using, but he comes with a lot of them. So do with that with what you wish. There's Timber. Timber also has an accessory, which is fun. On the side here, number 52 of the classified line, as well as the fact that he has a skull, a little sword, his eye really hurts, and he has a shuriken slash turtle hermit logo. I don't know what that means. But yeah, let's crack it open. And so here we have Snake Eyes and Timber on this mini base, side by side, and I love this set. I think it's great. As you can see, I have Snake holding his katana, as well as his Uzi. He also has, that backpack is not a part of the set, didn't come with it. It actually came with the first Snake Eyes. I just put it on there because I thought it looked nicer. But yeah, Timber also looks fantastic. I love the way Timber looks. I prefer the first release, the gray, because it looks more cartoon accurate, but this is also really good. Like, this is fantastic. Like, it's just as good. I love it. I think it looks amazing. Like, it's a, yet again, Hasbro being really good with their animal characters. Like, they're really good at making animal, like, side characters in their figures. Like the Panther from that one D&D set, the Spirit and Freedom right next to them, and Timber here. I really hope we get Junkyard Mutt and Law and Order at some point, because I'd love to just continue this pantheon of Joe dogs, which would be awesome. But yeah, they look really good, and let's actually bring it a little closer and take them off this base. So actually taking a look at Timber first, because I want to look at this really well done dog. He has a very nice stoic wolf expression on his face. Like, look at that. That is a very serious dog. I like the detailing of the fur. The sculpt is fantastic. It's a really good sculpt. As you can see, I have him in a sitting pose, but you can get him in all sorts of different poses. Like, you can get him into pouncing poses, running poses. He has so many points of articulation on this just single dog. It's impressive. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on one side. I mean, just that is impressive for a dog, for a dog figure. Like, why would you even go this far? But they did, and I appreciate it, because it works super well. Like, this is just, I'm honest, I'm just blown away, because it's really good, and I'm surprised by how good it is. Again, speaking of the articulation, if I pop the head off here, or it's a full head. You can see there's a dumbbell joint in here, which works really well for this here little peg. Pop it right in. There you go. In like that. So you can get 360 like rotation with the head. He can look up that far. He can look down. Not at all. But he can look straight that far. There is I don't know if it's like a ball joint or a hinge in here, because you can get like a twist going. Like this. You can like a twist, like an inquisitive look for the dog. But you can't really like take it up much. You go up a little bit, like that far and that far down. So I don't actually know what joint is in here, but there is a ball joint back here on the back of the body, which gives you some nice rotation side to side like this, which adds for some dynamic poses. It was a little bit of up and a little bit of down, which makes sitting a little easier. His tail even has a hinge. It's not a ball joint, it's a hinge, so it turns as well, like side to side, but it's a hinge up and down, so you can get like him looking a little scared or excited. You get a lot of poses for this. There's a ball joint here on either side, So nice range of motion there. There's a hinge here at the, what is this? Was it on the elbow? Is that an elbow for a dog? Or is this the elbow? I don't know. But that's what it is right there. So you can get like push forward that far and push back a little farther. So that's nice. There's also a hinge right here and a hinge and a swivel here. It's a forward-facing pin for a rocker for the little feet, which is nice. On the back, basically the same thing, except this hinge goes forward a little further. It's very tight. I'm going to snap this, but it's very tight. So yeah, you can go that far. There's a hinge here and a forward-facing pin, as well as a hinge for a rocker on the feet here. So it's really nice. You can get like a lot of dynamic poses with this dog. And that's not all he comes with. This dog gets an accessory. This dog gets an alternate head. Most figures in the Joe's line don't get alternate heads, but this dog does. This dog is an aggressive, very intense and mean growling head. If I can pop it in. Okay, it didn't pop in, so I'm going to look at that in a little bit. But again, like, look at this sculpt work. This is so impressive. That looks like something you do not want to see. That is a very intimidating and aggressive wolf. Because Timber is not a dog. I keep saying dog because it's shorthand. But Timber is a wolf. This is it's not a wolf dog. This is a wolf that Snake tamed. So yeah, no, that is a aggressive wolf face. There's some really nice sculpting in the inside. You can see the tongue, all the rows of teeth. Like, this looks really, really good. I think it's just absolutely fantastic. There's so much you can do with this. So much fun you can have photography wise and posing it with Snake Eyes or with other animals or with other characters. Like, you could put this in a Wolverine display. Like, say you get like, I don't know, 2 or 3 of these. You can put this in a Wolverine display with the shirtless Wolverine. That would look fantastic. Like, that would look so good. That would fit super well. And I'm really glad that this is as good as it is. So yeah, that's Timber. Let's move on to Snake Eyes. Now, as for the main attraction, while you're here, it's Snake Eyes. I feel like most people are going to be buying this because they either don't have a Snake Eyes or they'd like to replace their previous Snake Eyes. I got this because I wanted a Snake Eyes with all the accessories. When I did not have all the accessories with it. It just had the backpack and I believe it's a sword. So yeah, I wanted this because it had all the accessories. It was the same mold, but it had something I liked more. He had a set of boots on. Because if I bring in the other Snake Eyes here for comparison and look at their boots together, you can see that this one has laced up boots, whereas this one just has like the ninja toe boots. And I find this stands better than this does. It also gives a little bit of, as I say that, I just fully jinxed myself. But like, this one stands a little better. It looks a bit better on the shelf, as well as the ninja toe boots give Snake Eyes make him a little shorter compared to this Snake Eyes with the bigger boots. So it adds a little more height, because this Snake Eyes is fairly short in comparison to other Joes, which you'll see when I bring him in for a size comparison later. But it's fairly short compared to other Joes, which is kind of funny. So yeah, moving him back to his spot and looking at the actual reason you're here, the Snake Eyes that it came with, I think it's just an improvement on the first one. Because the first one is just matte black, solid black, shiny black, whole way through. Like, it has a little bit of red, a little bit of silver, but it's mostly just pure black, like pitch black figure. So this one adds more gray to it, and it adds more silver to it, as well as the greenish brown pants. So it is sort of like the Snake Eyes version 2 from the original line, which is basically the same figure, you know, still the Ninja Commando, but looks more like a ninja. Got the visor, got the grenade pouches like this guy does, pouches up to the wazoo, adds a bit more color, adds a bit more depth to it. So that's what this really did, which I appreciate, and I think it's better for it. So it's really just a nice update to that first Snake Eyes, which is good, because a lot of people, I'm sure, missed out on it. I certainly did, because I wasn't collecting at the time, so I only managed to get one used later. But yeah, no, this is a very good figure. I like the gray because it adds more depth, and you can actually see more of the sculpt here now that it's not just pitch black. You can see the sculpt work of the armor here on the torso, the individual pouches, the grenades are a different color. It has a nice belt here. You can tell that this belt is like a sort of like kind of clothy material, because of the texturing on it, how it's woven, which is nice. It adds more depth to it. I like that the sheath here has a bit of brown leather on it, so it looks a bit more worn, a bit more real. I'm not sure how I feel about this specific shade of gray. I think I would have preferred a little darker gray, but that's just me. It's a bit too light for me. It almost looks kind of bluish. But, you know, to each their own. If you like that, if you prefer that, that's good. I'm glad this is for you then. But yeah, no, this looks really good and I like it. He also has accessories out the wazoo. As you can see here, he has a pistol in his holster, which is a very nice looking pistol. Looks more real than a lot of the other ones that, especially early on, came with. I wish that they had done what they do with Stalker's gun. So we'll bring Stalker in real quick and pull his out. You can see that Stalker's pistol, it has a hole in the middle here, so in the barrel, so you can put the silencer in there. Snake Eyes does not have a hole in it, it has a peg. So it just has this weird little extendy bit on the outside, which is a bit distracting and doesn't look quite as good. But the benefit of that is if you take the silencer, or the suppressor rather, not silencer, suppressor, that comes with it, you can, of course, put it onto the pistol, which looks really nice. I think it does look nice. But what I like to do is Snake Eyes also comes with an Uzi. Because of course he does, because he's Snake Eyes. So this Uzi also looks really good. It's a really solid Uzi. It's scaled really well for this figure, and it works great, fits in the hand perfectly. But what I like to do is I like to take the suppressor and stick it on the end of the barrel of the Uzi. Because why do I have Snake Eyes using the pistol? He's got an Uzi. So yeah, I'm going to put this on there, and I think it looks really good. So that's the benefit of having it. It also has a slight hole in the end of the barrel, so you can probably put one of those blast effect pieces in there that came with, for instance, the Cobra 3-pack Vipers. But you put the Uzi in there, and the barrel, that looks great. That looks really good. Like, that is an intimidating look. But those are not all the guns he comes with. No siree Bob. He comes with too many guns. He comes with too many guns, and these guns do not work for Snake Eyes, in my opinion. I don't know why he has them. I won't complain because I'll give him the other figures, but too many guns. There's such a thing as too many guns when it comes to a figure. All these guns, by the way, came from the Alley Viper, which I don't know why. Maybe they just had like an excess, and they decided to give them to Snake Eyes. But yeah, all these guns came with the Alley Viper, and none of them work for Snake Eyes, in my opinion. Like this one especially, I think it's a stupid design. I don't like the way this gun looks at all. I understand that it's probably based on maybe some real concept, but this is it looks horribly uncomfortable to use. Like, why would you use this? Just use a SMG. Use like a MP5. Use the ones that came with the Tomaz and Zammot figures. Not whatever this weird thing is. You know, there's that. And then this is where it gets even weirder. He has the harpoon gun that came with the Alley Viper. Like, you pop this out, and then you can tie a rope here to the end of either. But, like, why would you include that? Snake Eyes doesn't use, like, a rope gun. He can just use a rope with a grappling hook. And we have a grappling hook. It came with the ninjas. So why is this here? I don't get it. I fully do not get why this is one of the things that comes with them. It's a nice sculpt, looks good, and it works well with that Alley Viper, but not with Snake Eyes. This is the only one that makes any amount of sense, which is just sort of like this generic looking assault rifle. Snake Eyes use assault rifles. Used them before in the comics and the cartoons, and not cartoons, but like the comics and the movies or whatever. So like this makes a bit more sense, but those two did not at all make sense. So I don't know why they gave him these. Maybe because they had like a set quota to fill out in order for it to, like, you know, fit into the price range that they needed. I guess they couldn't justify it with just Snake Eyes and Timber. They needed to add something else. But they did other stuff, which I think works, and one thing which doesn't, in my opinion. But before we get to those, let's take a look at the other things that are on his person. Like, for instance, his katana and sheath, which the katana looks very nice in the sheath and the holster. I think looks really good. It's an odd shape for a katana, but if you look at the original toy, or the version 2 toy, this is similar to what he has, so taking it out, it's more of a scimitar, it looks more like a scimitar. It's got a curved edge here, it's a little hooked here on the side, but if you look in close, there's the Arashikage logo on the blade, which is nice. There's even a little holster here, so you can slip his finger underneath it. It looks nice, and I'm definitely going to give it to him. He's definitely going to use it, but still, just the shape of the blade is odd, for me at least. You might like it, you might think it looks really good, but it's just, in my mind, when I think of Snake Eyes, I think of like a very traditional katana, but that's just me. Maybe because I grew up on the movies. But he also has a knife, which looks kind of like a Bowie knife, maybe? It looks really nice, though. I like it a lot. It's got a nice curved handle, serrated edge. I'm sure this could cut someone open like you would not believe. Probably very good for cutting open animals, feeding them to timber. So I'm sure you'd appreciate that. But yeah, very nice blade. Those are all the accessories that, as far as I know, can fit on his person with what he has. Like the katana in there, you put the pistol in the holster here, knife in there. You just got Snake Eyes strapped to the moon, and it looks really, really good. Oh no, there he goes. But like I said, there's more to Snake Eyes than meets the eye. Wait, hang on, that's the wrong slogan. But there is more to Snake Eyes, and that is he's got a bad scarf. It's a really stupid, bad-looking scarf. If he could talk, he would sound like Kenny, from South Park. So yeah, I don't know why they gave him Stalker's scarf, but slightly recolored. It doesn't work. It doesn't look good. It's not hard to pop on and off, thankfully. So you can it's just a slide on and off. The only way I found it working kind of well is if you also take the grenade belt off, which that looks weird like that. Oh, speaking of this, taking the grenade belt off. Unlike the original release of Snake Eyes, which for me at least, none of the grenade belt, the sleeves, the thing here, right, none of this was removable. This stuff is removable. Like the pouches on mine, I don't know if they're supposed to be glued on, but they're definitely not, because they've been sliding on and off for a while, which has been ever so slightly annoying. But yeah, no, let me know if anyone else has experienced that, or if that's just a weird malfunction on my end. But yeah, no, you just slide it down here on top of his head. You can take the head off if you want. That makes it easier for you, but I find it pretty easy to slip on. And slide it on there, and then just put his sheath on his back. And it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. Like, he looks like he's wearing a bib. Like he's gonna go to Red Lobster. It doesn't work for me. So I prefer it off with the grenade belt on, and give him his katana back. Good lord. Let this man be at peace with his dog. He doesn't deserve that. But he does have some accessories in the form of new hands, which is so rare for Joe figures. The only figure I know who has alternate hands that I have is the Sergeant Slaughter. He has a whole bunch of set of hands. But Snake Eyes has a set of 2 unique hands, which include a shuriken throwing hand, which looks really good. I like that a lot. I'm a big fan of the fact that he has a shuriken throwing hand. That'll be fun for some photos. As well as a kind of judo choppy or salute, but in reality it's a climbing glove, as you can see right here. He has a climbing glove on his hand. I don't know why it's on just the one, but I really like that sculpt work and the nice cloth like woven texture. But it's a kind of wall crawly grippy hand or a wax off hand. So yeah, no, it looks nice. Again, you can give him some nice saluting poses if you want, looking awkward standing there with his shuriken in the other hand. But no, this is nice. I appreciate alternate hands because it adds an extra layer of depth and more fun in terms of photography options and possibilities. So I will not complain. I think it's very good. It's a nice touch. Now, as for size comparison, here we have Sergeant Stalker, who is another member of the original 13 release Joes. So now I have 2 of the original 13. I can't wait to get all the rest. I hope we get them all sometime here soon, because that's what I'm aiming for. I want to get all 13 of the original release Joes. So yeah, they scale really well together. Stalker is a bit taller than I thought he would be, because again, like I said, Snake Eyes is kind of short in terms of the Joes, which is interesting. Now, for the next size comparison, we have yet another Sergeant, specifically Sergeant Slaughter, who absolutely towers over Snake. Got almost a full head on Snake, which is fairly fitting. That makes sense, size-wise. So yeah, there is the Sarge next to the Snake. Now, for the next size comparison is literally right here. It is Spirit. The reason is because I thought another animal wielder should be next to the other animal wielder, and they scale pretty well together, I think. Like they're around the same size, which feels fitting. So yeah, they look really good together, and happy to have these 2 side by side on my shelf from now on. I'm gonna have fun posing with them. The next size comparison will be the Cobra Bat, which is either my last review or my next review, depending on which one of those goes up first, because I've filmed both of these back to back, and I don't know which I'm uploading first. So whichever way it goes, you'll have a little tease for what the next video is going to be. So yeah, that's fun. Yeah, the size pretty well together. Bats should be pretty huge, all things considered. So there they are, Timber and Snake Eyes, the dynamic duo of Animal and Museman. I love this set. I think it's really good. I'm very glad I picked it up. It's a very good set. I recommend that you do as well. I want to get the original one at some point, the first release, because I prefer the look of Commando Snake Eyes. Although, honestly, I might just get the retro release, the Snake Eyes retro release, because I just love that look for Snake Eyes. It's my favorite personal look. But yeah, I really hope you liked this video. Sorry if it's a bit of a long one, but it's a big pack, so it should have some weight to it. So if you like this, please let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with your dads, because I'm sure no doubt your dads will like G.I. Joe. Maybe they'll convince them to pick up some of these figures. So yeah, thank you all so very much. Have a great day.